So today, it's July 3rd, it's 100 degrees, we're sweating, we're cranky, but nevertheless, we are still reading. Still, we rise.
Recorded live from P&T Knitwear, an independent bookstore and podcast studio in NYC's Lower East Side, this is The Illiterati.
The Illiterati.
The Illiterati. The Illiterati. Yay! Okay, all right. So before we begin, we have two new members of the Illiterati. Wave to the camera, wave to the headphones for those who are not looking at a camera. Ash and Colleen, please introduce yourself and one item on your summer bucket list.
Hi, I'm Colleen, and on my summer bucket list is a Cyclones game and kind of a whole Coney Island day. So hot dog, Ferris wheel, beach, some sort of weird infection in my foot from stepping on glass, and then a Cyclones game.
I'm Ash, and my summer bucket list is hot air ballooning. I want to go to San Diego to go hot air ballooning for my birthday.
Oh, cool.
When's your birthday?
August 24th.
Virgo?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh.
My mother's a Virgo.
My dad.
Love her.
Yeah.
I would never date a Virgo man. I've tried it. I almost died. Like, no, like, what?
There's something about like sign for sign that like maybe is too hard because you're too similar.
Yeah, the
It
like
wasn't
meets
even,
like
like-
doesn't work out
Yeah.
always.
Necessarily that. It's kind of like all the things about Virgos that could frustrate people, and like a man and being like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this.
Word.
Totally. I
Wow.
feel that way just generally about men.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that's every
I
sign.
actually just don't want to deal with you. I actually think you're being weird right now. You guys, what is the song of the summer? We're gonna get to books eventually, but I think that actually the fun part is when we don't do that sometimes.
Is it just one song, or can we have choices?
You can have choices. There's
Choices.
no rules on the Illiterati other than the other rules that we have that no one can know about.
No one can know, yeah.
It's a secret.
Yeah, insider.
We're a secret society.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, who
forget.
wants to go
There
first?
was like some kind of intro that I had that was like,
About that?
about like
I
we
mean,
had
Illiterati.
superpowers and I don't remember. Everyone listened to Meet the Illiterati episode 1. Okay, mine is Surrender by Cheap Trick.
Mine is, so this is very much so like a 2 brain cell left song. It's called Spend That by Young Miami. And anytime I hear people playing it and it's not in a function, it's like randomly outside, it's definitely someone that is surely on that last brain cell, and it's a good time.
Can you sing a little of it? Or
Spanish. Spanish.
spin
my
spend that shit.
spinners.
It kind of sounds like you're saying spin it.
Spin it, I know.
I know,
Spinach
that's
it.
how it's spend it, but it sounds like
Spinach
you're saying
it.
spend it at
Yeah.
the same time.
Spinach.
Mine was Broke Bitch Freestyle by Slater.
Oh,
Okay.
That was sort
Timely.
of more the way I was moving before I got this job. So that I was like, that's it. This is
You're
my
like,
song
"Help."
of the summer. But then I got the job and I
Not
went to
so broke bitch freestyle.
Well, it's still broke bitch, but like I'm not freestyling. I'm more. At least I know when I'll be
It's
making
going.
money. But a second one that it just like breathed new life into me when I did it at karaoke was This Kiss by Faith Hill. It's kind of
It's
a
a good
deep
song.
cut.
It's a good song.
I hadn't
Yeah.
listened to it in so long, but she says centrifugal motion in it, and the
She
way
does.
she says it is just like she's kind of doing a hopscotch over the words. And I was like, I gotta listen to this every day now, and it makes me feel happy. Whereas
Like
Broke
that's a
Bitch
lot of
Freestyle is-
syllables.
Yeah,
And she lets it go.
yeah. And when I was doing it on karaoke, I was like, I'm not killing it like her. Yeah, it's
Centrifugal motion.
yeah, it gets tongue tied. But yeah, 2 great ones.
Those are good ones. I do.
My 2 are, first is Zetsuen by Trooper Salute. They're a Japanese band. It's just like a kind of like that romantic summer song, you know, where you think of like I'm biking and I'm in the park and I can like think of like the sweat and stuff like that type of vibes. And then the second one is just honestly in the same of Ash, is like I'm just kind of like belligerently outside. And it's called Laffy Taffy by Veda. And it's just like a
Oh,
fun.
isn't that
Wait,
one song? I'm done
Laffy
laughing.
Taffy.
2 brain cell.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
No, that's a good-
It makes
But
you want
it's
to
like-
move.
It's like a new flip that a girl did for like a it's like a New York City girl who did like a flip
Okay.
for the summer.
Oh,
It's
cool.
very fun.
It's a really good song,
Yeah.
actually. So, The Summer of Love, it was inspired because everyone's talking about Love Island right now. So that's why it's on the brain.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone watches Love Island.
I
here.
used to religiously.
Me too.
Yeah. The first like
I
8
was tapped
seasons,
in.
I was like every day.
Yeah, because I remember talking about it with Chloe.
Yeah.
She like really knows it.
Yeah. I actually, that is low key kind of like, you know, like they say like be careful what you like wish for or enable.
Yeah.
And kind of like, I remember I had found Love Island first. And Chloe and I were like, we were like distance dating at the time. So she was like, we need to have something to watch like between the both of us. Like, what's something we could watch? I was like, I don't know. I started this show, Love Island. I think it could be kind of like cute, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And down the rabbit hole she went. And now it's like Bravo versus is everything. As I was saying, I've watched seasons
Bravo
1 to
versus
8.
the world.
Yeah. And now Bravo versus like passively in my life. Like that's what I was going to say. I've only watched 1 to 8 for UK. US, I
Yeah.
haven't watched like
I haven't watched any.
I'm
only
watching
passively.
US.
You are?
Yeah, it's
passively.
really not good right now. I feel like that's kind of dominating my feed. Yeah.
No, that's
Same,
it
I'm
is.
seeing a
That's
lot
what
of
inspired
The
me.
US one,
Yeah, the
US
not
one.
UK.
Yo, Casa Amor, those guys are acting up. No
That's the
lie.
point.
They're acting up.
It's
Shed
a test.
actual tears last night. It's a
I
test.
saw a segment apparently on the show where they have a movie night, and the movie
Yeah,
night
yeah.
is watch some nonsense.
That's
for
just-
adults.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I would die.
That's been there
it's
since like
awesome.
season 2.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's the best part of the season.
Once Casa Amor really got integrated into the show, like
Mhm.
it became something really special.
Really different. Yeah.
Also, I feel like these people don't know that that they used to like chain smoke cigarettes.
Oh, dude.
Like they used to
Yeah.
chain smoke cigarettes, and that's where all the drama
And you
happened.
remember the
'cause
drinking too. They would
they
they would like
get
binge drink.
messed
Binge
up.
drink, but then it got
Messed up.
messy.
Yes.
So then they were like,
and
we have to
people
cut
would
this
actually
down.
like sleep together. I
Yeah.
feel like
Don't
it's-
people still
it's-
sleep together on the show? But
They
we don't
It's
do,
see it?
but
super PG.
They used to show
Yeah.
it.
They used to show it, and
They used to
also
show it.
people would get hate online and be
Mhm.
like, "You're a slut," like you're,
Da, 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 da,
you
da.
know,
Some
and
people-
like there's like a history of Love Island, like people like
Dark.
killing
Yes.
themselves.
I heard.
That's
And
why
it's-
it's tame now because
That's
it
why
was
they don't.
so
they're not
fucked
allowed
up.
to drink
Yeah.
because it makes them less horny.
Yeah,
so
you're
like,
only allowed 2 drinks now
yeah.
Yeah.
at any time, and it's just
in the
it's-
whole
And I
show,
think
or
it's
like
just
per
per
day.
night.
I think
per night.
reality
Okay.
TV pretty like writ large has implemented like
That.
drinking
Yeah,
limits. Like I
that.
feel like a lot of shows they used to get off the walls and now they're like I think like
Man, Jersey Shore,
like
Jersey
Housewives
Shore.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all have
Big
kind
Brother.
of
Summer
limit.
House, they're fucked up though. I don't
Yeah.
know if anyone's watching Summer House.
I did watch the Summer House.
It's kind of just watching people be drunk for
Debacle.
3 days in a row.
yeah, in the
Yeah,
Hamptons, right?
Yeah.
yeah, there's no. I like when a game is involved.
Yeah.
Somewhat,
Otherwise,
you
I'm
know,
like I
somewhat.
don't
Or
really.
just
Yeah.
watch
That's why I
people
love
do
Traders.
whatever.
Like,
Traders is
personally,
good.
I love Traders. I've been
Traders
told I
is
need to
good.
get into the UK one because it's better than the US one.
Everything's better with accents.
That's-
It's just
that's
true.
true.
Valid.
It's
Yeah.
really just true.
That's really valid.
Okay, let's get into the actual stuff because
Into
it's
it.
been 20 minutes. Okay, beach reads. You guys, I feel like beach reads it's kind of like pejorative. I don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree with that.
And I feel like I mean, I understand it in terms of like a marketing tactic, but I feel like you can read any single thing at the beach.
Yeah.
It,
Truly.
it feels like
Sounds about
chick
right.
lit type
Yeah.
derision when you
Yeah.
call a book a beach read. I worked at a used bookstore and we had a shelf that was specifically labeled beach reads all year. And some of them did have beachy covers, but
Yeah.
others were just women's stories. And I was like, well, I don't know if that's a beach read. It just
Yeah.
might be something that a man thought was like shelvable
Yeah.
amongst women's
Ah.
fiction.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Kind of like
Interesting.
breezy, easy. There's some
Yeah.
sort of dripping romance. So
Yeah.
They put it in the beach reads. Yeah, I think it is kind of or I don't know if some authors want to be called.
I think
beach
some
reads.
want to.
Yeah.
Like I think there's an
There's a market for it.
advantage to being like I'm a beach read author. Like
Yeah,
everything I write.
there's that one. What's her name?
Emily Henry.
No, I would put her as. Well, I guess she does have the beach read book, but
Yeah,
I was gonna be like Coco Malloy.
kind of.
She's been like recently people anytime she puts out a book, it just goes into that thank you. It goes into the beach read list. Or like like
Really?
when people ask like, "Oh, what's a beach read?" Like even recently when they come here, I'm like, "Oh, like what's a beach read you did like?"
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, you know, something similar to like a Coco Malloy's book."
Wait,
like
actually,
X, Y,
she
and
kind
Z."
of is because I have read one of her books.
Yeah,
and,
like Blue Sisters is
they're like-
considered a
Oh.
big beach read.
what was her other one?
Oh, man.
Cleopatra and
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
yeah, that's also
Okay.
considered like a
Yeah.
like a big
Wait,
beach
that's a
read.
beach read?
People love
That's
it.
set in Manhattan,
New York.
isn't it?
I know,
Yeah.
but people.
That's a
where
question
the
that I
pejorative,
had.
I think
that I
part
had.
of it.
Oh, that is definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say she kind of is a beach
She's
read.
part of a
like,
big-
if you
yeah.
want to use the classic definition, which
Definition.
we will be using in this episode.
Yeah.
But the question that I had in regards to beach read is like, does it have to take place on a beach? Like, does the story?
Me
No.
personally, no.
I don't think so.
I feel like
No,
You're
no.
are you
I'm
thinking about it?
Well, I'm thinking about what I looked at what you wrote in the doc.
Yeah.
That a beach read to you is just the book that I happen to be reading when I'm going to the beach. And that's how I think of what a beach
Yeah.
read.
I feel like
I've
I'm
never picked up
reading-
a book thinking this will be
Me-
something that I enjoy
Yeah.
on the beach.
Yeah.
Or even
Yeah.
like I think I have a plain read more than I have a beach read.
Totally.
It's more of like the psychological experience. But
Yeah.
I guess if I was gonna call it, like if I had to give a label to a book, yeah,
Mhm.
maybe a beach read I would want. I'm thinking about my mom who definitely picks up a book with the plan to take it to the beach.
Yeah.
She might want something that's set in the summer at least, preferably.
Yeah.
There's like a sandal on the cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cute little house.
Yes.
Yes. Read a magazine on the beach, like a really.
That's
good
like
magazine.
one of the
Yeah,
most
what
popular
happened
beach
to
reads.
Yeah.
I mean,
But like you're
periodicals
gonna
and stuff
finish
that-
it so fast.
Yeah,
And it's all on phone now. We're all on phone at beach.
Mm,
that is
So,
true.
I don't want to be on a beach.
I
You
know.
actually can certain beaches. So
Yeah, you lose
like
service.
Jacob
Yeah.
Reese was there
Good.
this weekend. No service. And
Good.
somehow I found my friends, you guys. I was really proud. It was really packed and I was scared. Yeah, I do think there are some kind of books that I won't take to the beach, however. Like, I'm not going to read theory at the beach,
Oh no, no.
personally.
Maybe if you're built like that.
Maybe if you're like,
Anything educational
maybe if
will
I
not be
have
happening. at
to,
the
like,
beach.
I probably wouldn't plan
Choose
to
to,
do that.
yeah.
It is probably going to be fiction or a memoir, maybe. Like, I don't think it would be something super academic and
A really
theoretical.
good biography or autobiography as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people like taking
People-
a memoir to
yeah.
the beach. A lot. Yeah.
What about poetry? I feel like that's actually where I should be reading.
Probably.
Poetry is at the beach, and I'm never taking a poetry book to the beach.
I'm just not reading that much poetry, which is a separate
No
issue.
lie.
Which is
No
probably
lie.
a separate issue.
And they're so small and
I know.
thin. They're perfect for a bag. Sometimes they're
Yeah.
not even like bigger than your phone.
That's true.
Yeah.
But when
A
you
cute
read
little
poetry,
zine.
aren't you supposed to like really like
I think it's
get
to each their
into
own.
it?
I mean, we should.
I mean, you probably should
right?
when
Yeah.
reading anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, with poetry, like I
You
mean,
definitely have
certain type of
to,
poetry.
yes,
Yeah.
analyze,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
perhaps.
read in between the lines.
Yes.
Or you let yourself like being, knocked over by a wave. You just kind
Yeah.
of let it wash over you.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I feel like that's how I read it because I'm like,
Yeah. I'm like, I don't really like this one. Or I don't
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it. Moving on.
I'm like, that
Did nothing
was-
for me.
That was weird. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I thought of when I saw the initial question. To me, it was like either it's that book that you don't mind like lamping around with, like
Mm-hmm.
I might not finish this today, and that's totally fine. Or it's then like that other book where I don't know, for lack of a better term, how did I word this? Oh God, I don't know if this is gonna work, but
Do it.
it's like a book you can get lost in with no worries. Like
Mm.
just like no commitment. It could be that day maybe you're feeling an art book and you wanted to look at the pretty colors.
Mm.
Or the next day it might be like I wanted to read on Africa by, Binyavanga and see like what was it about this that made this so great. But I do feel like a beach read does have a tinge or a coating of romance, whether
Yeah.
that's like, and I think it's more the actual traditional definition of romance too, where it's like the feeling of not like love, but like, for lack of a better word, or maybe I think the phrase that they say for it is the feeling of something that evokes you to, then feel.
Mm-hmm.
And so more akin to, I don't know, like Tuck Everlasting to me is a great beach read because not only is it puppy love, but then again, it's like, I'm having a coming of age tale in the middle of summer.
Coming
I'm-
of age is
like,
also
like there's
something-
that personal like twinge to
Yeah.
it where like you can relate to it, and then in a way it makes you then feel kind of like, oh
yeah.
that's like kind of how I see a beach read.
I think there's also like particular beaches. Like there's like no beach is the same, Like when I'm in Michigan,
true.
I'm gonna be there for hours and like, be
Yeah.
kind of quiet.
Yeah. Or like a pond beach, for example, to
Yeah.
me has like, I don't know. You're right. It's
so
different.
I'm gonna read I'm gonna get up probably an unread book, because I'm gonna be there for a while. You know, I might be able to chug through it. But if I'm at the beach in New York, like I'm probably gonna talk a lot of the time, and I'm not gonna actually read that much. So I might the other day I read like 20 pages and I was there for a couple hours. You know, I'm like, okay, so maybe I don't need to bring a big book, and I could just bring a little something in case I'm bored. But also the train ride's long, so.
Dude.
I do more reading on the train to the beach than when I get to the beach. Even when I'm
Me
by
too.
myself, I went like. Honestly, I was supposed to go to Brooklyn Pride and I was like overwhelmed and I wanted to be alone. So I was like, I think I'm just going to go to the beach by myself today.
Love.
And I was going to relax. I was going to like finish my book, I thought. But the logistics of reading on the beach can be quite difficult if you don't have the right chair. You're like laying down, so you have to hold it in front of your face, blocking the sun. But then your arms get kind of tired, so then you flip to your stomach. And I was surrounded by speakers, by conversations that were frankly more interesting than the book that I was reading.
What book is it? Tell us.
It was, and I loved the book, but it was Earth 7 by Deb Olin Unferth. Everyone should check it out. I really liked it. It was like sci-fi for someone who doesn't really like or read a lot of sci-fi, kind of about, and honestly, it's all about sand, which is why I took it to the beach, because I was like, we all start from sand and then we end in sand, and the earth is going to explode into dust, and you know, what is it like to be a consciousness, and fuck AI and all that stuff. But it was an interesting book. It was just, I went to her launch at a rival bookstore. No, not rival, but Books Are Magic. She's so brilliant and so quirky and fun, and I was so excited to read it. And then I got there, and sometimes there is just more interesting stuff going on the beach, and that can just be the ocean.
Totally. Okay, wait. Let's talk about like specific books that we would recommend for someone. Whether that falls under the umbrella of like the literal beach read or our own definition. What are some reads that you
I had Nearly All Men in Lagos Are Mad. They're all short stories of unfortunate incidents between men and women in the city of Lagos, and you literally won't be able to put it down. Like, you're just going to keep reading it because this is going to get more and more diabolical. You're going to think, how far can these men go? Really far. So,
because they're all mad.
And they're insane. Some of the stories, I'm like, this happened. And what's unfortunate is it is a fictional book, but they're actually like people's stories that are just fictionalized for purposes. So if you're into short stories, that is a collection of short stories. Then
I think short stories are a great
Yeah.
beach read. Like, you can pick it up and start, and like it's really easy to finish.
Then there's another one. Another collection of short stories. It's by Bolu Bab. I'm trying to find the name of it. Honey and Spice is another. Okay, Love and Color. Love that.
Oh
book.
yeah.
It's all different types of love stories, like from Asian love stories, futuristic ones, set in the present, and just a bunch of short stories. She's really good at short stories, actually.
Who is it?
Bolu Babalola. She is a Nigerian English author.
Oh, I wrote Speedboat
Perfect.
by Renata Adler.
That's a
You
nice.
agree with me?
Yes, it's like I had someone describe it as like reading a Twitter feed almost. She has
kind
like
of is.
such a sort of like acerbic and dry and funny
Yes.
sense of observation. It's plotless.
It's basically observational like vignettes where she's like, I was on a plane and there was like a bunch of, was there like a rowing team? This is like a specific one. There was a rowing team and they were all mad at each other. Like, she's just like is a journalist and she's going through a bunch. It's kind of a plotless.
Yeah, there isn't really a plot.
No.
She's kind of just making comments on like a specific type of coterie of writers in New York or intelligentsia or whatever. In all of these, she takes like annoying people and puts them in bizarre situations. Or that's it.
Which
I don't
is
know, maybe
what
it's
you need to do in fiction.
Yeah, and she had a crazy life too. Like, it makes so much sense that she.
Tell me about her life.
Well, she like would get canceled by all of her friends, and she would just like bop around from magazine to magazine when she got like when she soured her relationships. Like, she went from like the New Yorker
by being a
to,
bitch.
yes, kind of. But I think probably in a funny way. I mean, you can kind of tell by what she writes that she's an asshole. Yeah,
that's how I feel about like Joan Didion. I'm like, I read her
what's
writing,
the-
and
what's
I'm
the
like,
other one that
I think
people
you might be
love?
an asshole. Okay, back to beach reads.
Yeah.
What you got, Colleen and
I think I put The Waves, which
Classic.
is very classic, but it does have that feeling that I want at the beach, or pretty much always. And I've never actually read it at the beach, of just completely losing yourself. it's all set in one summer day where these friends reunite, and they're talking about one of their one of the friends has passed, but years have elapsed since they had last seen each other. And each chapter, I don't even know if you should call them chapters, but each like section alternates between a different perspective of one of the friends. And one or two maybe are really preoccupied with death, and you kind of think about
classic Virginia
yeah.
Woolf book. One day,
one person in the
death.
book is like probably going crazy, maybe
Yeah.
two. But I remember when I got to this one like passage about someone thinking about dying, and it kind of ends with a metaphor or an image of like a wave crashing and then receding back to the sea. I was on the train and I literally had like I was kind of catatonic. I was like, I can't move. I don't want to get off the train. Like,
I
I'm
just
scared.
heard the secret.
Yeah.
I know the secret of the universe, and now what now?
Yeah.
I did read To the Lighthouse at the Beach.
Oh,
I
perfect.
think a
Another
couple
one,
years
yeah.
ago, another Virginia Woolf book. Is that just it's like a family saga?
Yeah.
I would say.
That one's maybe less like wouldn't make me so existentially dreadful at the beach, maybe,
No,
but
it's isn't it kind of a happy story? I haven't read it in a while.
yeah,
Right?
there's love.
There's
in that. There's
love.
romance.
Yeah.
She does that really well. Kind of like the
Yes.
nostalgia. Summer is so nostalgic.
Yes.
Virginia Woolf is very nostalgic for the past.
Yes, she
Yeah.
is.
So
Summer
anything
is
by her.
nostalgic. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking of nostalgic.
Yeah.
What you got, Abby?
The ones I had were like, like The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, I think is a great one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't Believe Everything You Think is another good one. Little pocket-sized, what do you want to call it, wellness book. On like the more, I also think like for me, a beach read is also fun. I don't know why, but that's always something I've thought of with beach reads. And so I think it's just because growing up, a lot of the time when I went to the beach and I had to go to the beach, I'm not really the biggest fan.
Really?
No.
Wait, why did you bury the lead?
I was
Like,
just
what-
gonna say 35 minutes in.
What are you doing?
I actually don't enjoy going to the beach.
I was the type of kid at the beach who never, I was actually the type of kid who just didn't listen. And so my parents were also big believers of mess around and find out. And so, you go to the beach, you're like, oh, I'm going to have fun. And I'm like jumping into the water. They're like, keep your mouth closed. Da-da-da. I get home. Of course, you have like the classic salty sore throat or like too much sand because I decided
Not so much in my experience.
I just would always just like dive I would always try to go too deep underwater, and then too much water would get in my nose.
I don't like that feeling. You're
and
right. Yeah.
then it just like, it always used to make like my throat sore, or I would get like frustrated at the sand, or I just felt like I was at the beach too long when I want to do something else. And
So you
get
often
bored at
just-
the beach.
Yeah.
I get bored as hell at the beach.
You found out a lot.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah. And I love being near the beach. Like, I grew up around the beach a lot, which was really nice, but I can't stand being there, which is so weird.
So
But
you would
I-
go to a beach.
I actually go to the beach to read if someone asked me to go with them. I'll be like, I'll sit here and read, but I'm not going into the water.
You
Do you
know,
put on a
if I-
bathing suit?
I do.
If I
Okay.
didn't
I
have
do.
a book, I might be bored at the beach.
Yeah, like I have to have a book or something.
Or like
You
I wouldn't. I
guys
don't think I would
don't like-
last that long.
You guys don't like building sandcastles?
Hell no.
What about just
no.
chatting with
But
your
chatting-
friends?
chatting's fine.
Or like
having
looking
a
for
beer with your
seashells?
friends.
Beer,
Oh, and
Modelo at the
beer.
beach is
Modelo at the
unbeaten.
beach.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
guys have never
Or a
like looked for
nutcracker?
seashells?
Yeah.
I have looked for seashells. That I like to do. But that's what I'm saying. Getting in the water though.
Okay, so you don't like the ocean. Okay.
Nah. That's
So Abby doesn't like the beach.
I do love reading there though. And so like
right.
I love I don't know if you've read Discworld by Terry Pratchett. It's like this really funny, like whimsical sci-fi fantasy series mix hybrid. I love like those type of books at the beach. It's also like 300 pages. So like I just get lost in it. Or Mervyn Peake has a great fantasy series too called Gormenghast, but they're brolic books. Like I low-key feel like it is a beach read because it's the type of thing where I read it throughout my life. Like there's no possible, it's like it. I don't know how people can do it in like a couple sittings. Like Dave told me he did it like in a month or something. And I was like, you are superhuman, because if I had to read that book, it's a forever book. Like it'll come, it'll go. And that's how I treat that series. But that's kind of how like I like to treat like a beach read. Like it's nothing I have too much to lean into. It's just like I'm getting lost here and I'm having a good time. As I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the ocean, so that I can get lost. I can then get lost in my boat.
I feel like I do read classics at the beach.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there's something about going to the beach where I'm like, I'm gonna try to read something that I should have read already.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't want to like experiment because like, what if I like hate? I don't know. I don't know why that happens, but I'm like finally gonna get around to X, Y, Z.
I think it's like, as you said, there's to some extent in it like oh my god, what is this word? How do you say it? Halcyonic? That
hedonistic?
No, where it's like that for like you're looking back on the romanticism of the past favorably, and it kind of like washes things a little bit, but it's in a way that you're like, oh, like it makes you forget about the bad times basically. What's also funny is like I will read the winter books at the beach. Like I don't know what the psych out is there for myself, but like I'm trying to think of like, for example, the winter. But like I remember the first time I ever read The Road by Cormac McCarthy, which is set in like a nuclear post-apocalyptic winter world. I was like at the beach and I was like, this is cozy. This I can do this here. But like, or like I remember reading The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson at the beach because low-key at the time I was a little punk B, and so I was scared. I was like, yo, the beach is comforting. I'm out in the daylight. Also, great thing about the beach, people. And so I was like, I'll be safe.
You were scared reading the book?
I had heard so much about how like, terrifying the book was, and I watched the show that I was like, okay, you know what? Let me get in a comfortable place and figure it out.
What were you gonna say?
I do kind of understand the feeling of wanting it to be winter when you don't want it to be winter, but the feeling of like, oh, it's going to snow at some point when you're on the beach is kind of not, you never like when you have what you want.
That's like
you don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
Like I always think of Christmas in the summer. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for Christmas. And then it's cold. And then you're like, oh, I can't wait until it's warm. Like we're just perpetually like unsatisfied and always wanting. Maybe I should do that at the beach. I don't know what winter book I would read.
Yeah. What is a winter book?
Christmas in July.
I mean, ones I think of are like, I remember as a kid that's very wintry that I read at the beach was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
I feel like Cat's Cradle feels wintry.
Yeah.
I think a lot of classics feel kind of wintry.
I was gonna say like Stoner feels wintry to me, but it's set in the summer, right? Because they're in college.
Yeah,
I've never read it.
Year. I know. Well, I need to reread that. It's been years.
he grows like he ages.
Over time.
Yeah, and he has such a mediocre experience. It's funny to read in the summer to be like, I'm partying, and then I was like reading Stoner, and he was just like, he's so pathetic. I see him so well.
I get it.
Yeah.
I think I read The Loser last summer. Similar vibes. Similar vibes.
Last summer was Loser Summer in a big way
summer.
for me.
Is that that's the Aleph Batuman book?
No, it's
that's The Idiot.
Bernhard.
The Idiot. Thank you.
Honestly, The Idiot's a good.
The Idiot is a great summer read.
Yeah, coming of age, and she's so charming.
I love that book.
Yeah,
no, that book is a classic.
I was like, how could anyone write a narrator this like real? I don't know. It felt like I was like in her head. I was like, I'm scared.
They were like, that was a book that like was really daunting for me after. Because then it was like, I don't know what to do. Like,
I was like, I miss her.
People were hyping
Did you read either or?
I haven't yet.
I don't know if it's in that one or the first one where she
get back in her head right now. Get in there.
When she's giving her first hand job, she describes it as
second one.
Oh, well, spoiler. Read it for this.
I mean, because like, the second book is all about like kind of her like having sex.
Oh, and that's another great summer one because she's on a journey. She's traveling. She's not at Harvard anymore. Yeah. But she says it's like a little sad. I don't know if the word was sad, but like the weak little explosion of a geyser.
Oh wow.
And then the guy like doesn't even kiss her, or I think he kisses her at the end, and the last sentence is something like, why does everyone's favorite part have to be something different? Because like all she liked was the little kiss on her head, and she was like, why am I giving this guy a hand job? And his tissues are like in the crack between his twin bed and the wall.
I love her. I remember like the one time I was like at an airport, and I think I was reading The Idiot, and I was like cracking up out loud, and this girl like is like,
Yo,
Please tell me why you're
it's
laughing.
happening. Yeah. No,
that
that
was like
book
one of
is.
the first times that happened where someone was like,
I gotta know what's
like
going
on.
what
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
happening
I
to
used
you?
to have that happen when I'd like be reading books and like react like it's a TV show.
I do crack up when I'm reading books.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
on the
I
train,
crack
I'll
up.
be like,
I'm gonna-
I'll be chuckling.
Yeah.
I'll
Have a little
gas
whimsy with
I
it.
have
whole
it.
moments, and
I'm
then someone
like-
is just like, "Are you okay?"
Or like, yeah,
I'm laughing.
like when people look at you funny and it's like, you see a book in my hand. What do you want?
Like, what do you think I'm?
It's
what do you
how is
think's
it any
happening?
different than
Then
looking
you
at
and
my
your
phone?
Yeah, you're laughing at your
Your
phone.
mind is limited if you believe I could only laugh looking
Yeah,
at my
yeah,
phone.
yeah.
I can't laugh looking at a book.
Everyone
Yeah.
reads for entertainment, so their version of what's going on when you're reading is
Yeah.
very like, "Are you okay?"
I guess if you were reading like theory or something, they would be like, "What's
Day
so
room.
What's so
funny
funny about that?
Day room.
in your
I mean,
Freudian
If we
book?"
have some really nerdy scientist friends, when they're reading like their
Yeah.
their theories,
Yeah.
They're geeked.
Yeah.
Yo.
What is this guy talking
You're like,
about?
you're like, "Oh, look at this discovery!" So wrong. I'm like, like they're so into this, like it's hitting.
It's hitting.
Or like if it's like a weird miscalculation in the math, they're like, "It's so funny that you multiplied instead of added." I said, "Excuse me."
Can I ask a question to the table? Do you think
Yeah.
that summer flings are very sort of popular, they loom large in the consciousness of like a
do.
time to get in a relationship? But then the cuffing season is also a time to get in a relationship. Do you think that summer relationships work out, or are they meant to be, if you meet someone in the summer, you're only meant to be together for the summer? Obviously, you don't have to answer in such a black and white way.
Yeah.
All summer.
Anyone that's met
relationships are
someone, love
doomed
them
to
hard.
fail.
Yeah.
I feel like I've grappled with this thought in theory because I've had situations. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna have the summer of my life and be outside. Then it gets cold. I'm like, I should have thought about that. And
About finding someone.
yeah, because I would have made like zero effort. I just been outside, and then
Yeah.
it gets cold. I'm like, okay, that's why you guys are outside because you were actually trying to find people. Didn't get that part. So didn't get that
I
part.
think it's at odds, like trying to like preemptively find someone for the winter,
yeah.
but also when it's summer, you're like, I'm literally single. I'm having
Yeah.
fun. Like I want to be alone and doing my own little journeys. So
I think it's like
don't
the
know.
joy of being outside and like whatever happens. You meet people. You're more
There's more
open to
chance.
experience. You're more open
Yeah.
to experience life.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess it technically does make it a little bit easier, but you also kind of, I guess, have a boundary mindset about like, how far is this thing gonna go,
Yeah.
and is it gonna be like September 13th I'm done, or is it gonna be like actually I might talk to you if it gets a bit colder?
Yeah, the fall is sort of the test. Like, I think summer would
Yeah.
be a fun time to meet someone, and you're having your life, you're doing your big things, whatever. And then September rolls around and you're like, wait, I'm still like hanging out with that person. That's so strange.
Yeah.
And then you just
Thing is,
tumble
you-
into November and you're like, I guess like you're cool.
Thanksgiving. You want to come to me,
My family?
Right.
Mind
And I'm
you,
like,
never done this before in my life.
Yeah.
ever. But a key thing is, like, if you're not sure if it's gonna be a thing, you need to break up before Christmas so you don't end up doing it before
100%.
Valentine's Day when it's worse.
Or
I
honestly,
thought you were gonna be
wait,
the
You gotta go
gifts
like
part.
maybe even
No
like
lie.
Yeah.
Nah,
gotta-
Christmas gives
pre-Thanksgiving.
like the first
Pre-Thanksgiving,
Christmas.
yeah.
People expect a lot on your first Christmas. Like, fuck out. It's alright.
Wait, I guess yeah, you can recuse yourself from this conversation.
Like, yeah.
Summer romances are like you kind of like what's that? The summer I turned pretty. It's like every summer something
Yeah.
interesting happens that will lead to something
Something
bigger, maybe in
else.
the
True.
off season.
And I think people romanticize their like flings that they have in the summer, and so I
Mhm.
think it's maybe nice to leave it there
Yeah,
because then you
I
can always be
agree.
like, "That's summer."
That
When
was
I
when I
met
was seeing that
when I met X and
Does
Da,
not.
da, da, da.
and we spent 4 glorious weeks
Together.
together, and no one will ever be him.
I always have like
Giovanni.
1 or
Giovanni's
2 week
room.
boyfriends. That always happens
1 or 2 week boyfriends.
Yes.
you call them your boyfriend.
for a week or 2 weeks, and after that I'm like, I'm done. Or someone's usually done, but it's like 2 weeks. Yeah.
That's the way to be moving.
That's the way we do it. I was about to say, that's the way to do it.
Please don't do this, y'all. Y'all might end up with someone that is not aware that this is 2 weeks. And
You
it's
said
gonna
2 weeks is not the 2 weeks is not the way. Sorry, I just saw
What
some
happened?
crazy ish across the street.
It's
But,
this street has
what
been
did you
real
see?
interesting
What
this
happened?
afternoon.
That dude just threw up.
Oh.
In the white.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
I don't
He-
want to
like
watch.
behind the van. He threw up behind the van.
I don't want to watch.
Maybe he has heat stroke. Oh, he's spitting.
He'll be fine.
Anyway, these are just the fun things that happen
That
when you
happen.
record.
Wait,
in a
so what
studio with
what
an
made
open
the
window.
question?
That is a good point.
I was just
It's an
thinking of
unpopular
summer
opinion.
love, and I like everyone is obsessed with the idea of summer flings, and I feel like fling is meant to be fleeting, and I'm just curious if any flings really graduate
Grow the
into
distance.
real, if they go the distance.
There are a lot more flings that end up. I think my brother's wife now was definitely like, is this gonna? And then they're together now for
Careful.
7 years.
Sorry.
Or I think people want to fling, or they say they want to fling, but actually they just want like a relationship,
Yeah.
and they're too scared to just admit that they want that. So they're like, oh, I'm just like playing around.
I think
like,
after
just
your
for
8th
summer.
fling, you probably should get a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
8th fling.
Why 8?
Yeah, why 8?
Because
lot?
7 already feels like it's overdone.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you're now getting into a pattern of like you're getting used to
I
this.
heard 3 is a pattern.
3 is a pattern, but I feel like at
But do
number
you have?
8,
Do
you
you
need
have?
to
I
realize.
feel like though with 3, have you had the most, for lack of a better term, fun with it though? Like, have you like?
Depends.
Have you had like successful ones? Have you had ones that weren't toxic?
What is a successful?
I don't know. I
A
feel like that's
successful
subjective.
thing is, I feel like it ends amicably.
Yeah.
And you
That's true.
go your separate ways, and you're
Yeah.
just like, that was like you are both under the impression that it ends.
Yes,
I think that is what a true fling has.
Is,
Is
yeah.
like you both know this is not forever.
Mm-mm.
So everyone
So
just
that's
goes to
what
each
makes
other
it
and it's
beautiful.
okay.
That's what makes it great.
But if you run into each other, no hard
No
feelings.
hard
You could
feelings.
totally have a
Yeah,
great conversation and be
totally.
like, I think
Yep.
you're awesome.
you're like,
Yeah.
miss you, that was sick.
yeah, and then for a day you're
Wow.
like,
You're like, what if?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best
and then
part
you
of a
forget about it
fling.
again.
I feel like that's low key a beat read.
100%.
Yes,
Like
and then
that
we
whole
we're
relationship.
back at the top.
I'm dead.
Great
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to The Illiterati. This week's episode featured senior members Sam Small.
Abdu Fowl.
Colleen Grablick.
Ash and Colleen.
The Illiterati is recorded live at our in-store podcast studio in New York City's Lower East Side. Go to PT Knitwear to book your time today. Thanks for listening.